the team has already got engaged with the trainers. We had long sessions and had some good outcome. In fact, like to the APU team and also even for the trainers, I see some of the trainers have gone and already started training, a lot of others, some good outcome there, in addition to they getting trained. So here we are trying to more like formalize it and get APU to certify our trainers so that we can, our training can also be part of the whole project, and also get some more credibility, particularly from APU and also the UNESCO Chair. So that's the intention of doing this. And thank you. This one is echoing. Right. So thank you, APU team, Prof. Akbar and Abtar and all others, John, Fahd and Vai for being with us. And thank you all those who are joining as trainers. Hopefully very soon we'll have you certified, and our Learn's mission of doing a lot more training. We had big numbers set, and hopefully we'll achieve it very soon. And I'll hand over to the next Andrea. Thank you everyone.
Thank you.
Andrea, who is...
Yeah, thank you, sir. So I think APU trainers, they can introduce themselves, but most of us know them. All of them were here, but Prof. Abtar, we missed her. She couldn't come due to some other commitments. So Mr. Jonathan, if you can initiate the session, that would be great. Thank you.
Thanks, Andrea. Thank you. And good afternoon, all of you. Thank you all for coming and being here. Yes, it's not so much of an introduction, it's more of a reintroduction in case you all have forgotten us. It's been 3 months. So the team is here, the full team is here today. Prof. Abtar is the director of the Digital Learning Hub, also the chair, UNESCO, APU UNESCO Chair. We missed her during the sessions we had in Sri Lanka, the expertise and knowledge, and even her engagement after sessions would have been really fun for everyone if she was there. Welcome, Prof. Abtar. We have Dr. Y, who for some reason has turned off his office lights. Dr. Y is the UNESCO Chair partner from Singapore, one of the most active people you would have ever met. And if you remember during the training sessions, because he was walking around, he probably kept all of you on the edge of your seats as well. And thanks for joining us, Dr. Y. We also have Fahd. Fahd is our wonderful trainer who never fails to engage with any audience that we train with. Fahd's got a way with people, and thank you for being here as well. So we only would need you to introduce yourself if you are sharing a computer with somebody. If you are not sharing, no issues, because your names are all on the screen. So easy for us to randomly call you for something, which we will try not to do so much today. So the Train the Trainer program that we're running today is a condensed version, simply because we are really happy to hear that so many of you have, from the time we concluded the trainings, the 15th of March, so many of you have already run independent training sessions on your own. And if you recall what we said at the time, the 3 steps to getting certified as a trainer was 1, to attend any of the 8 workshops, 2, attend this Train the Trainer session, and 3, co-conduct your own training sessions. So I think some of you who have already run your own sessions, this is your final step. You attend this session, you complete the requirements at the end, and you get your shiny blockchain-enabled certificate. Yeah, so with that, let me just quickly run you through what's the program for the day, the outline. So I think we've done the getting acquainted. I will very quickly remind or reinforce what the whole AID project is all about. It's not just an APU project. It is now, you have adopted this. I think last week, Dr. Roshan shared a news article from Sri Lanka where the NIE has also adopted some of the training by Learn, which is by AID. Right, so moving on, AID actually is not, I think most of us know AID as this series of workshops, but AID didn't start out as a series of workshops. It started out as a very detailed framework that incorporates 4 major things:
John,
policies,
your
advocacy.
slides are not showing, huh?
Oh, my slides are not showing. I am so sorry.
No slides, John.
Hang on, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I got so excited. Oh, they are showing now.
We were anyway happy to just listen to you, John. That's all right.
until
We
I
don't want to
started
be distracted by the slides.
until I started talking about framework and you couldn't see anything. Okay, so yes, apologies. Yeah, so the framework, the AID framework is made up of 4 main pillars, right? There's the policies and guidelines. We started out by writing policy for APU. There's also the advocacy, where we speak about AI and have brown bag initiative, panels, debates. I think apart from giving the hands-on workshop, one thing we also want to do is to let people know that AI is not just a fad. AI is not just the latest trend. AI is something that is going to fundamentally change education. And we were actually justified in our advocacy efforts, because when we ran one of the workshops for an African country, the dean of the university actually told us, don't run the workshop until you can do a brown bag session with the team, because otherwise everybody thinks that AI is cheating. So a brown bag advocacy session before any workshop actually helped to calm people, to give them a clear picture of AI's role in education. It is not a cheat enabler, etc. The workshops come under the 3rd pillar, which is upskilling. So the workshops are, of course, a fundamental, important part of the AID framework. And I think this is the part that you're most familiar with. And there's also the personalized support. Now, why we want to familiarize you with the framework is because when you become trainers, we don't want you to just go conduct workshops and move away. Personalized support is something that we really want you to also embrace. Okay? We take from the example of Dr. Y when he ran, whenever he runs the workshops here. I think once last year he ran the workshop. The following week, because he was still in KL, he came back to APU and did a clinic session for anybody who was interested. 5 or 6 people came, one-to-one sessions. The following week, he was back in Singapore. There was a demand for one-to-one sessions. He took on one-to-one sessions online on Teams. And that's the kind of support that makes sure that your training is not just a one-day thing. It is a continuous effort. Yeah. So the AID framework guides most of what we do. Hope you'll familiarize yourself with it. And moving on, these are the AID modules. These are the workshops that have been run under the upskilling component. I think we are familiar with AI-powered academic research, AI for healthcare, AI-powered academic writing, learning design. These were the workshops that were run in Sri Lanka. We did not do AI Learn. I think from this list, we only did not do AI Learn because AI Learn is tailored more for students in school, secondary school, primary school, etc. We did all the other 6. There are a few more. There's AI Gold, which is gerontologic optimization using digital devices. It is technically how to use digital technologies to age gracefully and to age safely. How you can use technology to help you in aging. We're also working on AI for the legal practice, AI LP, and AI for the judiciary. So there's a few more modules coming up. Okay, so this is a little bit of a background on AID, and I would like to invite Prof. Abtar to take on and tell us more about today's session. Prof, over to you.
Yes, thank you, John. Can you hear me?
Ken,
Yes.
loud and clear.
Okay, firstly, I'd like to thank Professor Roshan, who have taken a very big leap into this arena together with us. Yeah, we are very grateful that we are collaborating in this space, because I think it's always that the more we share, the more we learn, the more we spread the message. And I think kudos goes to Dr. Y, who has actually done a lot in terms of pushing the UNESCO Chair agenda towards this idea of coming up with the modules and how to go about doing it. So I think the trainer, you all are already trainers, you all are already educators. I think we can safely assume that most of you have done some kind of teaching, you know. And so, and again, as Prof. Roshan said, this is just more to formalize it, yeah. But in formalizing it, we also like to ensure that we cover the bases, and it is important for us to ensure that what we are imparting and what is being received, we are on the same wavelength. You know, we don't want us to just talk and then something else is interpreted. So the interpretation of, especially in online, interpretations can run in many ways. So it's better that we do this and then we check what are the deliverables. Yeah. So here we are hoping in the next 2 hours or less, what we can do, what we're probably doing is to evaluate the, you will certainly at the end conduct a pre-workshop survey data. Yeah. When you implement, this is something that you will do, yeah, and Dr. Y will take you through this, yeah. Evaluate pre-workshop survey data to discern and prioritize the distinct needs. So if you are training a certain cohort of people, then how do you know what is it that they want? This is very important, and just to share a story, when we were training the teachers in Dubai, it was really ironical that we just came and said, okay, this is what we can train you in, and they got back to us and said, no, we already know this. So then we say, oh, okay, if you already know this, then what else can we do? And then they say, oh, we need this aspect of AI. Then three of us got around it, created the materials, and then we did the training. Yeah. So that is important to find out what are the needs, whoever you are training. You could be training students, you could be training, like Jonathan mentioned, there are so many modules. There could be somebody who come to you and say, hey, I want to do this. So this is what the needs analysis is all about. And then you could adapt. We hope you will be able to use the existing 8 modules, yeah, to cater to the specific requirements. Of course, you might need to do something about it. Synthesize the workshop outcomes to construct a robust and comprehensive. So you will also come out with a competency framework, because you might need to then check on those people you have trained, just like we are going to do that check and balance, that monitoring and evaluation, the M&E. You probably will do that as well. So this is something you will also pick up from today's session. And then naturally, if we assume that you are going to be training mostly adults, so how do you look at adult learning principles, and how do you go about designing and developing the materials to suit to adults, and how do you speak adult language? Yeah, sometimes we are so used to speaking to students that when it comes to training adults, we are unable to adjust. So we need you to also look at how that adjustment can be done. Next, please. Okay, so let's dive a little bit into the adult learning principles. I think all of you, in fact, probably you all already know Malcolm Knowles. He is the man behind adult learning, or what we call andragogy. Yeah. So adults are self-directed learners. Yeah, and they like to become more autonomous, and they like to direct their learning. So how do you pace? How do you design so that you allow the adult to determine how they want to learn, and, of course, in a face-to-face session, it is well planned by you, but sometimes you can give the leeway. You could ask the adults, okay, how do you want this session to be done? Do you prefer it this way, that way? Although you have planned it, but because we are quite mature in our training, we know how to adjust very quickly. Yeah. So just remember that they have a very strong self-concept. They are able to also co-plan with you. So sometimes it's good, you can co-plan with the adults if there is a necessity or if there is a desire from the adults to do that with you. Yeah. Now, adult learners have a lot of prior learning experience. Yeah. So capitalize on that experience, try to pose more questions than give. Because when you pose questions, you are able to get a lot more. You may be able to get what you want to give. So do assume that they have the knowledge and try to get that from them because of their prior experiences. Readiness to learn. Most adults come into a training session because they want to learn. They actually want to learn. It's unlike our students, our university students or students in the schools. The push is coming from the parents, but adults, they come in because there is a desire. So because there is a desire, we need to capture that desire and make the learning environment a little bit more contextualized to them. Yeah, you need to fit into their needs, what they are coming here for. Okay. Again, the next one is the orientation to the learning. Okay, what is it? What is it that, how are you going to do it? Yeah, focus more on a scenario, on a problem, less on content, just try to make it more hands-on for adults, because the more they work with the scenarios or the role plays or whatever, it's easier for you also to connect back to the concepts. We did a great role play about last week when we trained our lecturers on how to do ODL sessions, and the role play was used so many times by the trainer while explaining things, So scenarios, problems, mini projects are all very useful in terms of getting adults to be immersed and bring out their own ideas. Yeah. So again, they are intrinsically motivated. Yeah, the motivation to learn, and then how do we foster that internal motivation? How do you get them? Though we may think, oh, adults don't need to be told that they are good. They don't need, no, everybody needs that. Although they are intrinsically motivated, we need to enhance that intrinsic motivation by sometimes just a pat on the back, or just to say excellent, or just to use some words. Look out for the smaller, because some of them may not be tuned to technology. Yeah, so you need to look out for small ideas or small verbal instances that they give to acknowledge them. Yeah, so for adults, we just have to bear in mind that overall, yeah, in a nutshell, we need to give them that face value that they are your peers, that you are not higher or whatever. You are not the only and main person who knows. They know equally well. Yeah, so that's what I think is important in terms of the adult learning principles. Next, please. Oh, I think why you are taking this off, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, over to you.
Okay, thanks, Prof. Now I know why. Every now and then she keeps saying, oh, why, excellent. She's trying to motivate me because I'm so demotivated most of the time. Anyway.
Oh my God.
Now
We
I know
are
your
very
tricks.
ID.
Thanks again, Roshan, for making this happen, and Learn team. It's wonderful to see you all again. trying to keep up with Roshan. I'm trying to compete with him, but I'm losing because he
In what
is
sense?
trying to keep up with Roshan is not possible. No, I'm trying to keep up with him, but I'm losing. But never
What did
mind.
I do? What did I do?
You're always one up on me, lah. You're AI all the time. I'm trying to be the AI guy, but you are the AI guy. So how am I going to compete? But it's a healthy competition. APU and learn, we're going to compete. He's going to get 10,000. We need also to get 10,000. We got to keep up with him. Anyway, thank you so much. And welcome, everybody. I don't know whether I've seen all of y'all or maybe y'all have seen me or not. Before I forget, Roshan, 14, 15 September, I will be in Sri Lanka. Most likely 15 busy with the Hand Society running a workshop, but 14th may be available, but I'll confirm soon so we can do some post stuff there. Okay. Yep. So I think, for those who have attended I assume most of you have attended the workshop, so you have met us, but those who haven't,
All
I
of
think
them,
very
all of them have,
important.
all of them have, right? All of them have attended
Okay.
the workshop.
Excellent, excellent. So you guys all know the stuff, but here's just a little bit on the menu and the recipe. You all know how to make your kotu, but I want to just make sure the recipe follows standardized healthy principles. So the training needs analysis is very, very crucial. I feel that it's like a doctor, So the intervention we are using is a capacity and competency in generative AI. That is our medicine. That's our Panadol. That is our silver bullet. But before we can prescribe the silver bullet, we need to make a diagnosis. What is wrong with them? What is the problem? What is the gap? And so that's where the training needs analysis comes in. So we always to understand the needs. And I think if you remember me, I always have a electronic whiteboard available during the workshop to put the expectations of the participants so that I have a live learning needs to meet at the time of the day. Because some people may have not done the survey, but at least on the day, we have them putting up the expectations so that the workshop meets their expectation. So
Dr. Wai,
it is very
you're breaking
important,
up a little
therefore, the
bit
training.
every once in a while.
I think we have, okay, I'm sorry, because the connection, I'm at the hospital, is sometimes not so real. Let's see whether this is, I just switched on my Wi-Fi and gone on to data. Is it better now?
We will find out, sir.
Okay, okay. So this slide is to do the training needs analysis. So one of the obviously your potential participants. So as you go out, like the NIE did their jobs, I don't know whether they did survey or not. They went on straight away and ran a workshop, which was excellent. But I think it's important to get the survey so you can see the expectation. We have the survey questionnaire. You may want to modify according to your local needs. And that's where you as a local subject matter experts can know and modify it. So you understand the participant, but I think the stakeholder endorsement is important. You go ahead and start running this workshop for the University of Peradeniya, and the Vice Chancellor comes and tells who the hell gave you permission to run it. So we have seen this happen, and then I quietly run away and hide in a corner until they sort it out. A month later, I go and do this. So I've done this without permission. So it's very important to get stakeholder endorsement. And I think that is important. That's where your connection, like Roshan is in Peradeniya. So you can get Roshan to convince the Vice Chancellor to run the workshop for you in the whichever department you are. So stakeholder endorsement is part and parcel of the TNA. Then how you do that, and I think that this is to do the conduct a gap analysis. So through your survey form, you will find out and see how many of them are advanced, how many of them have zero knowledge, have not used it at all. Then you can cater to it. And the difficulty comes out is when you have a mixed group. Some who are advanced, who already have been using ChatGPT for the last 1 year, some who don't even have an account. So then that's when you need help in trying to make sure that the workshop caters for everybody's need. So that is important. And that's where you can actually use the methodology of near peer teachers. So I use the word teacher and learner in a very generic sense. So from the professor of AI is still a teacher and learner because he has to learn some new skills and he's also a teacher. So we just use the word teacher and learner. So it is important to include sometimes a member of the participants to help train the weaker students so that you can focus more on the more advanced students. Sometimes you can do that, but if you've got enough manpower, we can split. That's why we team of 4 to run this. And it's also important, I think, during the workshop and after the workshop automatically develop a skills inventory. So from the outcomes of your workshops, you can know that how many of them were able to use that confidently at a level of, say, competently, may not be mastery, but a level of competent to use generative AI in their teaching or in their research. So if you have this skills inventory, and this is going to be a very useful asset for Learn, because you're collecting on the country's skills inventory on the use of generative AI. And I think that's an important skill. So you start off with the currently have 0 level. So what we want to show as an outcome is after 6 weeks after the workshop, when it's handed in the assignment, they have reached this level. So these are the things that you want to incorporate. That means, and now you will then start keeping a register. Learn will have a register of the skill sets of the teachers in Sri Lanka who have generative AI skills and what are the stuff that they have produced. So what are the tools for this? The pre-workshop survey is there. The instruments is available. Jonathan will share with you, or Fahd will share. You can modify it the way you want. And I think the other aspects, what I call the informal communications, that is where you talk to people and people tell you stories. Hey, I don't know what's going on. The vice chancellor doesn't know what AI is. And these informal communications can become an opportunity because that's also a learning needs analysis. You have done the analysis in terms of a one-to-one with the vice chancellor, and then you may want to give him a private tuition. And what's in it for you is that once you give it to him, he is then what do you call this, dependent on you for his further learning, and he will therefore endorse your programs to help you achieve your objective of bringing raising the competencies in generative AI among all your teachers. And the other way is data-driven. Is once you're collecting data, I mean, Learn is obviously collecting a lot of data, and from that you can even customize and make bespoke learning base as you progress along the way. So constantly being in touch with them, both interviews and informal communications are useful tools for conducting training its analysis. Next slide, please. I think here John stepped. Oh, okay. I think John's stepping in. No. Okay, I carry on. So the design, how do you design a competency-based training program? So this is a very much, I think those, all of you attended, is a very hands-on thing. This cannot be, I find it's very difficult to teach this by paper or even just video. And I still feel that presence is important. That's why you are being trained, so that you can be there and look over the shoulder. There've been a few cases where I looked over the shoulder while I was walking around, and I found that somebody was putting in the prompts into a Python program environment and not into AI, and then wondering why they're not getting responses. So prompts, so things like that you pick up when you're running it. So it's a competency. The important aspect is, I think we have already created a lot of the online resources. So I think for as starters, we rather you stick with that sequencing that we have created. Sorry?
Carry on.
Okay, sorry. So the concept is, because of the availability of the AIDS open educational resources, these are all available online. At the moment, still on the RISE platform, but eventually this will be migrated to a MOOC on Moodle, and then it'll be available. So you can use it as a flipped workshop. So a lot of content they can read beforehand if they come, and then you look at your learning needs. Once you're done the survey, you look at it and see suddenly somebody wants, you analyze it and said, they want how to design lesson plans in Tamil. And then how are you as a single teacher going to do that? So you may want to then use the translation ability of ChatGPT to help them with that. And then both of you all can work together on that. And the other thing is, through your survey, you may find that their learning needs, the training needs may be huge, and you cannot complete it in half a day or in a day. Then you have to prioritize them. So obviously, basic skills on prompting is mandatory, so that everybody must know that. And then if somebody wants to know advanced function like how to do systematic reviews and all that, that can be kept at a later stage. And then personalizing the content and the sequence. And see, so though we have a linear sequencing pathway, but trying to encourage learners with self-directed on-demand learning, that's where the OER is there for, is for you to mix and match. So if you have one side of the class or your workshop is all the guys who don't even know what a prompt is, and at the other side, you've got a group of in one corner, all advanced fellows from computer science, University of Peradeniya, who are doing data analysis and synthetic data generation from ChatGPT. You can catch one of a day. You come here, one fellow, sit here and teach these people how to do prompting. So you can change the sequence and content in accordance to the need. So you may even modify this on the day when you see who comes for your course. Okay, so that's very important. And then creating your competency framework. Now, we have a generic competency framework based on our workshop, but you may want to modify that based on what happened during your workshop. So this is something that you must be familiar. So it's a kind of editing it, modifying it. And since you all are masters in ChatGPT now, you can put it back to ChatGPT and ask it to modify the framework based on these findings that we got from our survey, where they want this more in Sinhala or something like that. And then it will change that. It will do. And please share with us that framework. So we have all those for our various workshops, which we obviously will be sharing with you, and you already have it. And I think developing this is important, so then it becomes totally contextualized and it is completely assimilated into the educational environment in Sri Lanka. Next slide, please. I think this is where John comes in.
Yes, we'll
Yes,
just
okay.
come in for a while because I want to show you a sample of what Dr. Y has been talking about, modifying course content. If you look at the screen, you see that AIRE, the output, it's AI for research. So the output is a research proposal. AIAW is academic writing. It's based on the IMRB framework paper. AILD is lesson plan. However, some of the modules like AI Leap, it's very customizable because AI Leap is leveraging effective administrative productivity, and different organizations, different units in an organization will have different administrative needs. So one of our most constantly getting customized modules is the AI Leap. I just want to share with you two samples of the AI Leap program, which an original one and not original, customized, both slightly customized. I'm just going to drag it out here. So this is something that we prepared for the ACCA, the Association of Chartered Accountants. Okay? And if you look at this, you find that this AI Leap program based on ACCA needs has got a lot of sections, financial document analysis, document generation, video creation, chatbot, etc. The general AI Leap module content is pretty much what you're seeing on the screen, but this has been customized for ACCA. However, when we did a informal needs analysis, again, I want to refer back to what Dr. White said, the survey instrument is not the only way we collect needs analysis. We also talk to stakeholders. For example, here, the administrative, we spoke to the head of administration at APU and realized that some of these may not be needed. So we then customized a program for APU, which if you look at it, it's a very, very condensed version. very tailored to what this particular organization needs, this particular organization's administrative personnel. So it was introduction. And again, we customized it because at APU, we subscribe to the Microsoft 365, and part of it is the Copilot. So there's no, it makes more sense to conduct the training on how to manipulate Copilots rather than how to use ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini. So the introduction to generative AI section, which you are familiar with, we will run it using Copilot. And then it is just about how to write and validate prompts and applying Gen AI in daily tasks. Now when this session runs, will be even further fine-tuned by the pre-workshop survey by finding out the number of people from different departments who handle different daily tasks. Some people in administration handle, they are with the exam unit, so they handle exam paper, collation, collection, emailing, etc. Some people may be with student placement, so their daily tasks are different. So once we get that information, this AI leap will then be even further fine-tuned for that. And finally, we're just talking to them about tips on using or misusing Gen AI. Okay, so these two documents actually will give you an idea of how customization is done at the design phase based on the needs of the user. Prof, you want to add something to this?
No, actually, yeah, you have said it. But so these two documents are from the original document. So we have an original, and then we customize to ACCA, we customize to APU. So for APU, our most important need is the time factor. It's so difficult to get people to commit time for this kind of training. So then we said, okay, so that is the most important thing that we have to put at the back of our mind. So we brought it down, to 90 minutes. So that people will at least come and say, oh, for 90 minutes, I think I can put time aside and I can put that 90 minutes. Then we ask ourselves, then in 90 minutes, what are the most important, techniques that people need to learn about generative AI for administrative efficiency? So we ask all those questions among us first, because we know the environment, we know what the situation is. But if you are going to a different environment, to another institution, then you cannot make those judgments. Then you need to talk to the people. But since we are in APU, we were able to. So the ACCA one, yeah, like one of our lecturers spoke to the ACCA people together with John, and then they customize it. So I think it is very important to do that. Needs analysis can be done in so many different ways. You can talk to people, but if you are within the organization, then you can have half the knowledge already, and then you can verify it. Like as John is saying, later we will verify what are the different kind of tasks that we will actually give to our participants when we run this workshop.
Also, to add on, right, the leveraging effective administrative productivity proficiency workshop series is very customizable. We've even done this session for banks. 2 leading banks in Malaysia, we did the session, and bank is totally different from the education industry. So based on their needs, we then tailored this to, again, the base content is there, but now we tailor it to the banking industry. What does the banking industry need? Do the banking industry have access to, they don't need to create learning plans or lesson plans or assessment, but they have their own needs. So in discussions with them, we tailor it to suit their needs. And when we did the bank, we had to leave generative AI a little bit and even talk about cognitive AI, because those are things that apply to the bank. So when you customize, always base, you have a base, but we look at what the trainee needs are. Okay.
Nice.
Dr. Y, can we continue with you? Dr. Y? Did Dr. Y left? Did Dr. Y leave the meeting?
Sorry. I'm here.
Okay,
I
next
just switched
slide,
to the
John.
phone.
We are having doubts
I
about Singapore's network connectivity now.
No. I moved from the desktop to the phone because I may need to start walking. But okay.
John, move to the next slide, John.
Next slide.
Yeah.
Next slide.
So this was that, and okay.
So continuing. So conducting a competency-based training. So what are the effective training delivery methods? And I think time is, as Prof has mentioned and John's mentioned, people are all difficult having to come out, and this is not a kind of part and parcel of their job description. So you got to make your training delivery methods very, very effective. So the flip workshop is the best, what I have found from my personal experience of running this. That means you provide the knowledge content, the videos, and all we have already created. So the OERs are there. So you can send that out a week before and then do the pre-workshop preparation. So from the trainer side and the trainee side. So the trainer side, you need to start collecting and you're modifying your slides, getting it all ready, trying it out. From the trainee side, tell them what they need to do. They need to bring some documents for this to do the document management or to read through a document using ChatGPT as a summarizer and things like that. So when they come, when they've done the pre-workshop preparation, so as you would have remembered, we sent out letters to you the week before, what to do, what to bring, so that you don't waste time. They come in all prepared, their accounts are all ready, and they get on straight to the hands-on and the hand-holding. So the hands-on is they're going to do it. So don't talk so much. Maximum 60%. Ideally, half of it talking, half of it they're doing. And the hand holding is very important. And I think Fahd did a lot of hand holding during the workshop. He went around and he did one by one. And I think that is important. And the drill and practice. Over a period of time, sometimes I just tell them what to do and let them do. So I've changed my techniques a little bit now. We do one step and then we get them to do the same step again. And then we carry on the next step so that they don't get left behind. And you let the faster learning people go at their own pace, but you should keep to the rate limiting factor at the slowest learning individual. So that's the delivery method. And engaging the participants is very, very important. I think, John's very good at reading the room and, cracking jokes and moving around. And I think the moving around is very, very useful because people don't feel as threatened. And I think we need an audience participation is very important. And then you remember what we did. We got each of them to come and present. And I also, sometimes it can be quite negative. I ran one with 57 people and all 57 wanted to present their work, which was a disaster because we couldn't. And some of them went back very unhappy because they did. So what we did was we allowed them to present online. And then we allowed everybody to see. So that's very important and how you do it, because they're all going to create artifacts. At the end of the workshop, they're going to create some form of artifact. You must give them an opportunity to show off. And this is where Learn can come in. If you don't have time during the workshop, you can have a platform where they can show it off. Next slide, please. So and that's the kind of stuff that we are delivering. So one of the things we need to know is for you to do, this is your assignment, for you to get the certificate and the gold medal that you can wear around your collar and walk around, is you need to do a bit of this to show us that you have done a conduct needs analysis by a simple sort of like a survey. And then you modify the existing content. Like say, if you're doing one on AI for learning design, then you just try and change the slide and show us that you have changed. And then develop how you're going to, like a lesson plan, how you're going to deliver during the workshop, and create a competency checklist. That means you can get ChatGPT to create the one that you have modified. We have ours and you modify that. And then you run the workshop. And the way you have modified it, you run it, and we want you to record that workshop. It doesn't have to be even a 4-hour workshop. It can be just 1 hour among 4 people in your department, and we just want you to record that PowerPoint presentation with you delivering, and just want to see all the components that we talk about in the learning outcomes, you have done that. And once you have submitted that video, you don't have to send it. You can put it on YouTube or put it somewhere and send us the link. And then we can look at it. And then we have direct observation of you having conducted a workshop. And therefore, we can give you your certificate. I hope that is clear. Thank you. So this is our evaluation criteria. So we're giving you the passing mark and the answers to the question. So you should be able to know. So as long as you produce all this stuff, you should have no problem passing the trainer program and get yourself a certificate. John, I think that's from me.
Yeah, so if you all have any questions, now would be a good time to ask your questions, because we're just going to pause for 5 minutes to take questions before we go into a little bit of a scenario-based session. So question time, folks.
Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm Charlika. Is there any specific questionnaire format to get the need analysis?
Is there a specific format to do the questionnaire? No. So what we will do is we will share with you the questionnaire that we have created. You can actually modify those questions to suit local needs.
And also the language. You might want to put the questions in English and in whatever local language is preferred.
We can even share the questionnaires so that you can share it with people, but the risk with that is the responses will be coming to us, so we will be finding out what the needs are and not you. So when we give you the questionnaire, you recreate one so that you can collect that particular data. We only ask that you practice sharing and caring and maybe share the data with us if we need. Dr. Y is on the move. A good question, thank you. Any other questions? Urgent? I put it in the chat as well if you have any questions, but no, nobody has. If you're shy, you can always type in your question in the chat.
There is one thing I'd like to add to what Dr. Y was saying earlier about running the workshop on ground. One thing that you kind of pick up in when you're running the workshop and during the interactive sessions specifically, you have no idea what kind of problems the participants are facing. And sometimes, in fact, most of the time, senior participants do not ask you, they try and solve it themselves. For example, one of the major problems that I have noticed is that people cannot get through the login phase because they're just not used to it, most senior professionals. So, but they rarely ask, so you have to kind of keep this in mind that you'll have to take them through even the phases of getting to whatever generative AI tool you're using. Every single phase, even if it does not occur to you because you have been doing it for so long. So just keep that in mind, please.
To continue on that thread, one of the things we also noticed from training is sometimes people are not ready with the software. So it's always good to, once you have collected your data, you analyze the needs, you know who these people are, you have at least their email addresses, and email to them clearly stating what the minimum requirements for software would be. So if you're going to do a session on AI Teach or AI LD where you will be using a lot of video creation tools or image generation tools, then giving them a heads up. It doesn't have to be one particular tool. You may have a few options that you want to give them so that when they come, I think one of the major issues we had in many sessions is when we did AI RE and AI AW, which rely a lot on bibliography management software, things like Zotero, Mendeley, etc.
Oh yeah, we had to get those installed.
You'd expect that academics would have that installed or know about it, but we end up spending a lot of time installing and guiding people on how to use bibliography management software in an AI workshop. So if you can pre-alert them that these are the softwares that will be needed, these are the softwares that will be used, please install, get it ready, then you cut down on that wasted time. I mean, nothing is wasted. They are learning how to use bibliography management software, but it's taking away from your AI training time. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Prof, are you ready to go? If there are no more questions?
Yeah, let's, okay, Roshan and team, this is the plan for the next, we still have almost an hour, which I think will be important for us to do a hands-on together. So we're going to give you the scenario and we're going to plan together, all of us, so that I'm not sure, John, if the planning can be done on the slide itself or it can be done on the whiteboard. That I'll let you decide, but I can take you all through step by step. And John and Fahad can join in, and
we will share the blank slide, and then if anybody is responding, I can put it in there. No worries. The scenario is here.
Okay, so let me just re-emphasize the scenario. So the scenario is LEARN have been approached by OUSL, Open University Sri Lanka, to train a group of academics on the AI Teach. The module is the AI Teach module. So John is going to share the AI Teach module with all of you. Okay. So what you need to do is to do first the needs analysis. Okay. So what are some of the questions you will ask to OUSL in the needs analysis? You can probably put in the chat, maybe Fahad, we can all, we can then copy and put it into the, we can put it into the slide, yeah, whatever responses are coming. So I do hope you will type out your questions in the chat, and then John or Fahad can copy it into the slide. So we will create step by step. This is what you will do when you have to come up with your final output for us, yeah. So what are the questions you will ask the OUSL? Could we start off with, you can verbalize as well, you can speak, you don't have to text. If you speak, then we can just type it out quickly. Anyone?
This is where knowing your names is very helpful.
Yes, may I? This is Ruanta. Okay. I mean, I would want to know which level they are at, first of all. So perhaps I would ask their a question on their current knowledge and how comfortable they are, maybe.
Very good. Excellent. Yes.
And what they expect to learn and the areas that are important to them. I mean, 2 areas. I mean.
Yes. Wonderful.
Expectation.
Yes. Yes. Great. I think we can have, just add on, because I'm sure there will be many aspects that you will find out from Open University. So Open University Sri Lanka is an ODL institution. So how would you go about, what are you going to be doing, with this? How do you deliver the AI Teach? But before you deliver, you have to design it and develop it. So before you design, develop, you have to plan it. So in the planning stage, these are some of the questions you will probably ask them. What are some other questions you will ask? Come on, I think there are many questions we can ask them. I mean, it can be the most basic question, like how many hours, how many participants, who are the participants? All these questions you need to know before you can plan, yeah? Anybody else?
This is Nava here. Sometime when you ask the question like a current knowledge of AI, I mean, I would say like, nobody know like what is, most of them don't know like what is their current knowledge on AI because we don't know how big this AI. So what I
Yes,
suggest is,
actually,
excuse me, let me finish.
Yes,
What I would suggest is like, since this module is kind of a AI teach, we can pick some of the tools, and with that question, we can ask their knowledge or whether they know that something like, we can more focus only on this, AI teach related thing, because AI is big thing. When you ask like what is their knowledge, it's kind of a, not a good question. What I thought.
Yeah, good. So you want more details, right? This is
More
very
detail,
important.
one specific to this one, yeah.
Yeah, more details specific to the particular topic that you are going to be teaching. Maybe you want more details. Yes, it's important to get details. So those are the things you will put into the questionnaire or into an email that you want to send off to the person. Whoever is communicating with you, you might want to have some basic knowledge or basic information first. That is very normal. Yeah, we'll have some basic interaction, some basic knowledge, how long will it be, when do you want? I think this is something that John and Fahd has been doing with Watsala and Andrea, when they were planning for all of you. Yeah, so then after that you come up with more specific questions based on your basic questions. Yeah, so this is one part of what you will probably need to submit to us, your needs analysis. You could probably, and we don't require you to do with like hundreds of people, you could just do it as an exercise so that we know that you have done something. What was the feedback? What data did you get? Yeah, so this needs analysis will depend on the scenario. You can create the scenario on your own, but you need to do this needs analysis in this format. Anything else? Okay, if not, let's go to the, we cannot go into details, yeah, but I think kind of we need to ask, we need to do certain steps. So now let's say you already got all the data. So into the next slide, John, we can create a new slide. Let's start with, let's say the scenario is such. The feedback that you got is the lecturers in OUSL cannot do a face-to-face. They need you to run a blended learning session. Okay. For, let's say the lecturers are from the whole of OUSL, they tell you that, okay, we have about 40 lecturers whom you have to train, and you have a training of 1 hour only. So the scenario is you got 40 lecturers, 1 hour training, and that it is going to be done in a online learning environment. So can we start with number 1? What title will you give to your training? We need to get, titles are very important, and as creative as you can for your title. Fahd, you can also participate if you like. You are normally, John is normally very creative with titles, but let's give our participants a chance first. Titles are always very important. What title would you want to put? This is the scenario. You already know what is the need. Okay, let's start. And it is the AI teach.
I'm Saku, and can we use the title as Introduction to GenAI Tools in Teaching and Learning?
Let's just do this brainstorming now. Okay, what is your title? Introduction to
generative AI tools in teaching and learning, or in education, or for academics?
Let's put that down. Okay, any other creative
There's some coming
title?
from the there's some coming from
Good
the
one.
chat.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah.
There's some coming from the chat. I'm just copying and pasting here.
Oh, okay. Okay, AI teach made easy. Nice. Some more. The art of prompting. Okay. Some more. Any more?
Got some of it from the chat. Got one more coming from the chat.
AI for making your life easy or something. I mean, they know the context, so
I like that.
it is, yeah.
We emphasize easy.
Okay. Okay. Let's okay, now we need to, because we have done the brainstorming, let's all see which one is the we now have to do the weeding process. So okay, we need to weed. So you already know the scenario, right? You only have 1 hour. You got 40 academics. You are doing it in online. You know, we are not sure whether you're going to do it synchronous or you're going to do it totally synchronous, or you're going to do it totally asynchronous, or you're going to do it blended. Yeah.
Maybe you can ask AI to synthesize this and provide a sexy title.
That's a great idea. Let's put this and ask AI, which is put the scenario into Chat GPT or whatever, and ask the AI which is a good one for that scenario. John, you need to add the 1 hour and the 40 participants and
yeah.
Okay, let's see.
Let's
see what generative AI says.
Dr. Y has got his hands raised. Anything you're trying to say, Dr. Y?
I think that was what he said.
I've already said it. Sorry, so
Yeah,
I put it down. I don't know how to put my hand down.
Only one way, huh?
And you are the hand surgeon, right?
I think all of us can do this exercise on our own.
I put a sample prompt here to get ideas, but of course this prompt can be worked around.
So let's see which is the most ranked. Let's rank it.
This is this one at the bottom here is Chat GPT's suggestion after looking at all the options given.
What is the suggestion?
This last one down here.
That looks good.
Based on all these options here, and to synthesize this for a 1 hour training workshop, this is the title that it is recommending.
Do you all agree? Do you all think this is good one? I mean, that's Chat GPT, but do you all agree?
Yes, for me.
I would also like to just add here that its titles are very subjective. Again, your audience, it's a subjective thing, right? So
yeah, I think it's too broad for me. Modern education.
Yeah.
What do you mean by modern education?
Can I just say, I think it gives you an idea. But what I would do is I'll take this and I'll change it the Sri Lankan way, or something that is, maybe put in a Sinhalese word or something. So that's contextualized to to the Open University as well. So you contextualize it to your participants. That means if they've got something that they are whatever they call just-in-time learning is their motto, the smart, but just-in-time learning with teaching smart with AI or something like that. So you got a good idea here. Now we need to humanize it and contextualize it to your local participant.
Yes, one thing I'd like to add, if I may, that this is just ChatGPT. What I would do with something like this exploratory thing, that what title I would like. So I would also paste this in Gemini. I would also try Copilot. I would also try another one if I have access to that, and then get all of see which one gives me a better title to work with.
I think that's really good. I think the idea here is sometimes you do this alone. Today we are all doing in a group, right? So we have got many ideas. Sometimes you are alone and you need to talk to somebody. So you talk to your AI. I got this. I got a new assignment and I need to do this. So could you suggest me a title? Sometimes that's why titles actually are very, very important. So how do you attract people to want to do what you are trying to do? So, okay. I would go, if you ask me, I think AI Teach Made Easy is quite easy, quite good. Something with the word smart and something like that might be, you can put AI Teach Made Easy : and something, you can put something else. So it's not that long, but it is short and crisp, and it sends the message across. Okay. So let's say we take one, yeah. So then what do you do now? What do you do next? You got a title. Next, what do you do? Sometimes it is an iterative process. Sometimes we start writing, we start writing an introduction to the title. Sometimes we go and write what we want the participants to be able to do. So in 1 hour, let's see, what do you want the OUSL academics to learn about AI Teach in 1 hour? So in 1 hour, what is it that you want to give them? Let's say they got no knowledge about generative AI. They have zero knowledge on generative AI. So what is it? We go to the learning outcomes. So you will have the title. Then you will have a short synopsis of what you want to do. But before we write the synopsis, let's go and do the learning outcomes. So what will be the learning outcomes before that 1 hour? John can take any title.
Okay, I'm going to go with one.
Take any title, it's okay. Because we know what is it that we want to do next, right? Okay, then, because it's very iterative, right? Even the title is not ready yet, but you have a small title in mind. You have kind of a title in mind. It will improve. So now let's do the, maybe put number 1, put synopsis, and then number 2 is learning outcomes. So 1 is synopsis. Use the numbering system, is easier so that we can refer to them by numbers. So we have synopsis. Okay. So what is it that you want the OUSL lecturers to learn in 1 hour from you, if you are given this assignment? But it is from the AI Teach module. So you need to now do that. That what we did for the AI Leap for ACCA and for APU. How would you now adjust that module to 1 hour? Any ideas about the learning outcomes? Maybe you can put it in the chat, or anyone can put it in the chat, and then we can, or you can say it. So in that 1 hour, what will the participants learn from you about AI Teach? Any ideas yet?
I think it's coming in the chat yet.
Do all of them have AI Teach, John?
Oh, yep, they have previously been sent. You've got the
You
contents
can
like
share you can share at least in the chat the link. Let's start with John. John, what would you do? Let's give them an example. What learning outcome will you put?
1 second. Let me just get the link first. AI Teach.
In 1 hour, and they got zero knowledge.
Participant, if I may. For example, we can go with participants will be able to determine this is one learning outcome. Participants will be able to determine the advantages of generative AI in in their teaching practice or in the classroom, just off the top of my head.
May I add something? This is Shranta. Develop a lesson plan for introducing students to the use of AI in their dissertation research, for example, or any course for that matter.
Okay. So again, always go back to the assignment given.
So,
what is the assignment that's
so
given?
maybe another one actually at the end of this program, the participant will be able to learn available tools for AI.
Okay. Yeah. Learn the available tools.
Familiar with the available tools. Like.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's a lot. I like that.
This came from the chat.
Okay, so put your scenario again at the back of your mind. You are training lecturers in 1 hour about AI Teach. So, learning outcomes, lecturers will be able to automate lesson plans, syllabi.
If the participants are totally new to AI, then the first learning outcome should be for them to be able to explain AI in teaching before going into lesson plans, etc. You want to take them from the ground up.
Yes. I think we can put that they should be able to describe or explain what is generative AI. Okay,
and
generative AI.
And its limitations.
Yes. Okay. Okay, number 1. Then, so you have set the stage now. Okay, then next, what do you do?
And tools available for the generative AI for different purposes.
And yes, what are the different tools for teaching and learning? Because it is AI Teach.
Yeah.
Different tools. Differentiate, yes, between different tools for teaching and learning, different generative AI tools.
And then about the prompt and about the prompting.
Yes, and able to use, use
effectively prompting. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think these three are good because you are given 1 hour. Don't forget that your time limit will determine what you want them to learn if they got zero knowledge. So I think these three are good. So they know what is generative AI, what are its limitations, blah 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 blah, and then you tell them these are the different generative AI tools, and then you tell them how to do prompting, for example, how to prompt to create, say, a lesson. That's all. You cannot teach them more in 1 hour, right? So now you have the learning outcomes. You can go back to the synopsis and you can write a synopsis. So John, maybe we can take this and put it into ChatGPT and get a synopsis maybe. Okay, so while John is doing the synopsis, can we have all of you think about how are you going to deliver the content? Since this is Open University Sri Lanka, you can't see them face to face, you can't meet them physically. How are you going to deliver this? What is the good method of delivery from your perspective?
So using Zoom and using breakout rooms.
In Zoom, so
With
will you do completely synchronous? I
No,
hope
I
you
mean use breakout rooms and do some like the group work kind of thing. And
okay.
Yeah,
Yes, so you can, that meaning are you saying that we will go completely synchronous, meaning you will have the 1 hour session using
Yeah.
the Zoom like this, and then do the session, and then have breakout rooms. This is good. Okay.
And if not, actually, prior to that workshop, we can upload some materials, supporting materials to the LMS like Moodle, and then
Wonderful.
have the session using online. So it's like synchronous and asynchronous both together.
Wonderful. Okay, so it's blended. So it's a blended. So before you have the 1 hour session, you upload the materials like what Dr. Y mentioned earlier, the flipped classroom. You upload the materials and then you ask them to do something maybe, and then when they come for the 1 hour session with you, it's easier. They are already ready with something. Okay, that's nice. So let's look at the synopsis.
And prior to the after like getting the requirement of the course, we can conduct for the participants before attending the workshop. We can like a MCQ kind of question or something like that, then analyze the knowledge level of participant, and then later we can customize very well because we know the audience very well after getting the analysis of the questionnaire or maybe MCQ questions results.
Right. Yeah. I think it is important when you plan, you also in your planning process, you will be open to new input from your needs analysis, your TNA, yeah, so that you can adjust it a little bit more. And then when you prepare the content, that's when you need to see which content to add in, how, what is it that, what examples you need to give and stuff like that. So this is the kind of a planning process that you will probably do, and then you go get the content, and then you implement it, you go teach, or you go train. So this training, you already know, is all going to be in Zoom, yeah, because they are OUSL. We're going to train them using a Zoom, like what we are doing now. And you can see we are making you interact with us, be giving you a scenario, asking you questions. Do you know how to? And then since they are adult learners, don't forget to use the adult learning principles, yeah, to create the content, to create the activities, and to check whether they reach a certain competency level. So you need to do all that. So we're just doing these 2 parts with you. And then after this, you need to create the content, the activities, and then you go use this, go train. So John will now discuss what are our expectations to certify you as a trained trainer. So we just did a very short session with you on the planning process. Any questions? Any questions?
There's one suggestion here in the chat that says can deliver as a series of short videos. That's a brilliant suggestion. I think you use that with what Dr. Y said earlier in the flipped classroom. If you only got 1 hour with the people, then you might want to give them the series of videos before. But again, take into consideration people don't have time. So your short videos have to be really short
and motivating.
Yeah.
Now, this is a very good suggestion, actually, the short videos, because when you do 1-2 minute videos, right, you already got the knowledge to them. Next, when you meet them for 1 hour, you are just doing hands-on. Give them a scenario, you do a complete hands-on with them, assuming that they have watched the videos. So this is also a very good way of getting around the assignment given. Yeah.
Okay, to just wrap up the presentation part of this, when you do your submission after going through your needs analysis, this is the criteria or the rubrics that will be used. This is what Dr. Y meant. We give you the question, we give you the answer also. Okay, so you've got number 1, how do you evaluate the pre-workshop survey thoroughly, adequately? We will fine tune this because we also need to adapt this, make it suitable for you. Then we will send this out to you as well. So, but generally the rubrics will be assessing you on the 4 areas that were the outcomes of the session. Any questions?
So can I just summarize what John just said? Summarize it a bit more.
Please do.
Or emphasize it a bit more. So basically, we will send you an assignment sheet. What we need you to do to be certified as a trainer. We will come up with the assignment, the scenarios. We will give you the scenarios. And we will also give you the rubrics, how we are going, what we expect you to send to us so that we will go through your work and say, yeah, this one is excellent. Number 2 is also excellent. Number 3 is good. Number 4 is whatever. Then we will let you know what is it that, how you have done. Is it you have done a great job or you still need a little bit more improvement? But the assignment and the rubrics will be sent to you. So today's session is more to get you ready to run a maybe 1 hour session on any of the modules. You pick any of the 8 modules that John showed earlier. There are, I think, 6 modules there. Then you will run a 1 hour session. We will give you the scenario, yeah? And then you will videotape that session and send that videotape to us, and we will evaluate you based on the rubrics. Then we will say, okay, certified trainer. Okay, any questions?
Any questions before we dismiss? I think you all were doing very well on the chat earlier. So if you have any questions now about what's required of you.
If you can provide for a one particular course, your ready-made one, the objectives and the intended learning outcome plus some curriculum kind of breakdowns in point form, that will help us to when we are creating one for another one.
Right. Well, the one that we showed, we will give, will the one on LEAP, the original LEAP, and the one that we modified for APU be helpful for you?
Yeah, that's very good.
Okay. So we'll just give you one, the original one for LEAP, and then the one that we modified for APU. Okay. Because that one is a 90-minute session, so you will roughly know how to because we only want you to do for 1 hour session. We just want you to see how you do it. There was a question on submission deadline, which we thought we will leave it to Prof. Roshan to say.
Are you there? Do we have the timeline?
How much time do you want to give the participants to submit that video? I think we can only give you the assignment on Monday next week, July 1st.
Before you make a decision, Dr. Roshan, just to give a heads up that people don't need to wait until they get a full class of 50 people to run a training. Yeah. They can even do a training among themselves here. They can even look at their own department and pull 3 people together, 5 people together and do the whole thing. So
yeah.
So based on all that, roughly how long do you think? I think we can ask the participants here. So do you all need 1 month? You need,
assuming you get the full assignment with the rubric on July the 1st. So how many weeks do you need to get yourself, depending on your time? Yeah, I think the participants will be the best to tell us.
So I propose 2 weeks. What do you think? Raise your hand if you are in agreement.
Just like Roshan, he is pushing the bar, you know. I was going to say 1 month. The first saying 2 weeks. Oh my God. I was being kind. 1 month.
You know, this is simple, right? So they just have to spend an hour or 2 and then do another hour of training, and
I have another branching scenario. Some of you may have already done your training.
Yeah.
So in that case, you may want to reverse engineer your if you have a recording of it. I mean, if your training was totally way off course from what we just shared today, then you may want to run another one based on these principles. If you think that, hey, my training was identical to what you guys are sharing today, then just you have a recording of that. You may want to work on getting because we want to make this as easy as possible. Yeah, we want you to start training certified as fast as possible. So
okay, so there's a suggestion to go with 1 month. So we'll go with 1 month. So the July month is good, yeah. So end of July.
Yeah. Okay. 1 month. I do think that is the kind of time we will need, a month. Yeah.
But those who finish early can send in early and they get their certificate earlier.
Yeah, why not? Motivation. Okay. Are we good?
yeah, so we are in the process of setting up a portal where you can submit all this together with your videos, etc. Until that happens, we will give you an email address where you can send it first. Okay, because the portal may take, we're trying to get APU to support in creating a Moodle portal that is accessible to everybody. So we have been promised end of July, but in the meantime.
But in the next 2 weeks, we are again so busy. So you can take 2 weeks grace period.
Yeah, take your time. No hurry. Do a good job.
Yeah, don't rush yourself. Do a great job, and you will be proud of what you have done.
May I ask a question, please? Rwanta here. If you can send the questionnaire as early as possible, I think it will save us a lot of time, because the survey is critical for deciding the path and things like that. And the question also, what you want us to work on. The rest can happen later, presumably. Thank you.
We'll send you the slides that we went through today with the example that we built together, the question that we wanted to work on, the sample from the AI Leap, the sample questionnaire on Microsoft Forms, the whole thing Monday.
Perfect. Thank you.
1st July, yeah?
So you need an online version or physically attendance one?
Both are okay.
Both are
Both
okay.
are okay actually, as long as you record the session and share.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. For your workshop. Yeah, both are okay. Both are.
Yeah. Exactly.
Face-to-face
You
is
record
better
it
maybe.
and share it. Yeah.
Face-to-face is better maybe because I was talking about helping them over the shoulder and so on. So yeah, if you can.
So again, from experience, if you do a workshop like this online, it is still possible to help people over the shoulder, but your participants need to be the type who will, turn on the camera, share their screen, show you what they're doing, etc. Otherwise, it becomes very difficult.
Yeah.
Mm.
So this is a
Nava, we can't hear you. I don't think. Maybe he's talking. Nava, are you talking to us?
Already planning his training with somebody else.
Yeah.
It's just that I have a small issue, like President Roshan will know as well, because our system is under TU action. So doing it physically and recording might become a challenge to some of us, not everyone, because technical assistance and cameras and getting those things is a bit of a challenge in the arts faculty, if you know what I mean, President
Dr. Ruanta, don't worry about cameras and equipment. If you are recording a live session, use your phone. Put your phone on
Okay. No,
It's perfectly
yeah,
fine.
because but then you wouldn't see me like going over the shoulders and doing it, and it's going to be so awkward.
I don't mean hold your phone like a selfie mode. Put your phone on
Yeah, okay. Okay.
make your phone as
Just
the
use your
camera.
mobile.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
as long as those things are acceptable, I just
yeah.
want to put it out there, because we are working under extremely challenging circumstances right now. So
Yeah, just use your mobile. Put your mobile onto a tripod.
absolutely.
Put it onto a tripod, and then try to have a small group, so that with a small group you don't move around too much. Then it can capture as much as possible. We will advise you don't go more than 10 people.
Yes. Okay.
For the training, so that you can do that. If you think you can do something and show us within 40 minutes, it's also okay. We don't need to do 60 minutes.
Yes.
Because we just want to see whether that what you are doing is does it follow certain principles and learning design. That's all.
Okay, if there are no further questions, if you have further questions, I'm sure you could just send it to Andrea or Vatsala and they will forward it to us for response. But maybe you don't have questions until you see the content that we share with you on Monday, and then you may have another 200 questions. After that, no worries. The questions will come to you in email. You can respond with, the content will come to you in email. You can respond.
And they also have the WhatsApp group if they want to communicate anything.
Oh yes, there is also a WhatsApp group for that. Yes, thank you. So thank you all so much for your time. I will hand it back to, I think I see Vatsala. So Vatsala, over to you.
Yeah, actually, thank you all very much from the APU team, and to our trainers, like the trainers who have joined from different member universities. So as John said, if there's anything you want to clarify, please forward it to us, so you can put it in the WhatsApp group, so that we can communicate. And if there's anything, even you can call me. I think all of you have my number, even Andreas. So that's how it is. So let's try to meet all the deadlines we have discussed. So APU team, thank you very much, Prof. Abtar and John, Fahd, Dr. Y, everyone, thank you very much. And from even Professor Roshan and our learn team who have supported getting this done. So thank you all very much. Hope we will get the coursework soon so that we can start working. So thank you all very much. Thank you. Professor Roshan, do you have anything you want to add? Fine.
All good. Let's get it done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sooner the better.
That's the spirit.
Yes.
Okay, thank you
Bye-bye.
all for
Thank you,
your
everyone.
time.
Thank you so much,
Yeah,
everyone.
thank you, everyone.
Thank you for this planning.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.